Hi guys, how are we doing? Welcome to another education module with myself. This is going to be a slightly shorter one than my supplement video, but just as important. We're going to be talking about weight fluctuations because from what I see, I feel like a lot of people don't fully understand that it's completely normal for your weight to fluctuate. It's just part of normal day-to-day living, so don't worry about it. I see a lot of people, they take an all or nothing approach when it comes down to their weight loss. One thing I am huge on with all you guys, my clients, is we need more goals than just weight loss. We cannot just use your weight as a be-all, end-all, as the only indicator for your success. So, with that being said, right now, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm weighing myself 5 times a week. Pretty much every day I'm in the gym, I am jumping on the scale. This is for 2 things. Firstly, as much as I say don't worry about weight loss, there's other ways to measure your success. Right now, for me, personally, with one of my goals, I want to get fitter and I want to get faster at running. Now, quick way to get those goals quickly is to drop weight. Obviously, me weighing 98 kilos, I'm not going to be moving as efficiently as I would if I'm weighing 90 kilos. So I'm trying to get back down to the 90 kilo mark. But with that being said, as much as I am trying to lose weight, I'm also measuring my 5k time. I'm measuring all my strength lifts. I'm also measuring my sprint speed because I don't want to get down to 92 kilos and all that sort of stuff up there has not improved. So the reason why I'm doing it 5 times a week is because I view weight as data points. So I am lucky I can step on a scale with near enough zero emotion. If I put on weight, if I lose weight, it does not bother me because I know my weight will naturally fluctuate. And over a week, 2 weeks, I then look at the trend, if it's going down like that or if it's going up like that. Your weight will not drop perfectly like that. It will go like that kind of thing, you know, up and down, up and down. And this is something that weigh myself 5 times a week just gives me a bit more of an understanding when it normally fluctuates. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to get to day 7 when I reweigh myself every week and I could just be at the top of fluctuation. Because then it looks like what I'm doing is not working, but every other data point throughout the week, my weight could be going down. I like to think we all know someone, or we've seen a story on Instagram or something like that, where people has had everything down to a T. They've nailed their steps, they have nailed their protein, they've nailed their calories, they've nailed their workouts, they've nailed everything, but their weight's gone up a little bit. Now, this is completely normal. Even if you have everything perfect, your weight can naturally fluctuate by about 1 or 2% a day. And that is worth bearing in mind. It doesn't mean you're moving away from your goals. It's just a very natural fluctuation. Now, there is a review paper of review papers about people who have lost weight for good this time. And one real common thing this review paper picked up was a lot of people who give up weight loss are the people who do not see the weight dropping near enough down like that. It's the people who give up who may just go up by half a pound because they only weigh themselves weekly rather than daily. Now to them, they feel like they're failing, when the reality is there's a lot more to it. They could be losing fat and their weight could be maintaining. I have clients who've visibly lost a lot of fat whilst gaining a lot of muscle. So their weight has not really changed too much for that reason. Now, are you going to sit there and say it's not a success? Of course you're not, because you can visibly see he's lost 12 centimeters around his waist. But has his weight dropped as much as people may suspect? No. So that means if you're going to base it all on weight, I have failed him. Now, one of the problems with people who give up dieting because they don't understand weight fluctuation are normally the people who turn around and say a calorie deficit doesn't work for me. I did not lose weight on a calorie deficit. Now, as I literally just mentioned, there's a difference between losing fat and losing weight. But if you were just weighing yourself weekly again, you do not understand the weight fluctuations, or you may only just be seeing very slow fat loss. Because hypothetically, right now in my life, I do something called carb cycling. So normally, 2 days of a week, my weight is a little bit lower than what it normally naturally is because I've not had carbs on those 2 days. So my glycogen is slightly lower, blah, blah, blah. So if you eat a high carb meal the day before you weigh yourself, you're more likely than not to have lost as much weight as you actually have, because you're holding on to more water retention, you're holding on to more glycogen, and similar goes with sodium. If you have salt, you know, you can be holding more water. That's different than holding more fat. I mean, I do think this is part of the reason why the education system behind the health and fitness industry do let people down, because they don't teach people the fundamentals, how their weight can fluctuate. I mean, you literally think about it logically. You drink a litre of water, that's a kilo. Where do you think that kilo goes? It goes into your body. Just because you've eaten or drank something doesn't mean all of a sudden it loses all of its weight. Until you go to the loo, you're going to be holding on to that water. So your weight will go up, but that's literally just water or food in your gut. That's not fat. Even though your weight may go up a little bit, don't worry about it. This is why I recommend to a lot of people is, if you're going to weigh yourself under the same conditions. Weigh yourself ideally first thing in the morning, as soon as you get up, nip to the loo, and then jump on the scales. But stay consistent. Because if you're going to weigh yourself in the morning, then you're going to weigh yourself in the evening the next day. In the evening, you've had a day worth of eating. And think about the amount of food you eat and how much weight that could be adding onto your weight. Now, some of the things that can cause a weight fluctuation involves, if you're a woman, your menstrual cycle. When you last went to the loo. How much glycogen have you eaten? How much sodium have you eaten? How much water have you drank? And all this is why I weigh myself daily, well, every 5 days, and first thing in the morning. Because you just stay consistent with all of those measurables. You're trying to make it as consistent as possible. Okay, I get for women it's slightly harder when it comes down to your menstrual cycle. But when you're trying to compare weight loss as well, if you're a woman, try comparing the same point of the cycles, if that makes sense as well. That's a really good tip. Now, as I said earlier, when I weigh myself, I just view it as a data point. I have taken all emotion out of stepping on that scale, because I know there's a lot of people who literally call the scale a sad step. Now, this is normally because sometimes, I'm not going to say everyone, sometimes people do not fully understand weight fluctuations and they pin all of their success on their weight. And now I don't blame them. You know, you look at some of the major slimming clubs, you look at some of like the major meal replacement shakes, they celebrate weight loss. They say the only way you can succeed is weight loss. And there is a difference between weight loss and fat loss. Now, by weighing yourself every day, collecting a data point every day, you can work out a weekly average. You can literally do this on my app right here. This is my week, well, about over 2 weeks, that's my average. So I can see I am going down. I can see my weight's dropped a bit, gone up a bit, plateaued a bit, gone back down. That's okay. Going back to what I was saying earlier about the study that reviewed studies where a lot of people give up weight loss because they see a plateau or the weight goes back up. You can see mine's dropped, gone up a little bit, plateaued a little bit, then went back down. That's completely normal. Just because I noticed that little bit of a trend doesn't mean I've given up. And this is the important thing, and why I weigh myself 5 times a week. I get all these trends. I can visibly see all of these trends. With weighing yourself weekly, you don't see the trends. Now, you could be with your diet, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, for 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however long weeks now, right? Firstly, I recommend highly, don't change anything for the first 2 weeks. Because the first 2 weeks, your body's sort of getting used to everything, okay? But with that being said, if I was a stockbroker, let's say I had a stock that took me from 10K up to 100K. Really good stock over the course of 6 weeks. Now, all of a sudden, after 6 weeks, that stock has dropped down to 90K. Just one day, it's gone down to 90K. Should I sell that stock and get rid of it and just run away? No, you'd be an absolute lunatic. Similar goes with people who ditch their diets that are clearly working just because of a little dip in their stock value. Their weight goes up, essentially. So even though if it dips a little bit, just leave it for a week or so. If it keeps going the wrong way, then we can sit down, we can address the issue. Come to me and we can write out another game plan on how to address this issue, because you will get to a point when, let's say you've lost 10 kilos. You think about this logically again. You've lost 10 kilos. which means when you walk in, you know, I'm big on my steps, everyone knows that. You know, you're now walking with 10 kilos less. So obviously when you're walking with 10 kilos less, you're obviously going to be burning less calories. So eventually, yes, it is going to begin to plateau out a little bit. And that's where we can address it and then write up a new plan and get us back on track. Anyway, there's a nice video on weight fluctuations. Hope you guys enjoyed it and have a glorious day. Bye.